Hi guys, welcome to Signal Path. Today we are talking about the Canvas Power HP Plus. The Canvas Power HP Plus is an incredibly low profile and powerful power source for your pedal board. At the base, we basically have a 10 tap power supply with several taps being kind of a now standard 500 milliamp kind of 9 volt tap, but then a few special case taps with varying voltages and incredibly high amperage that allows us to power things like tube pedals like this, things like my Quad Cortex, and really, integrate this into a board that has, a mixture of very, very high draw pedals and very, very normal draw pedals. And that is a really, really exciting thing. I have used the Quad Cortex for a little while now. And if you've followed along with the channel, you've seen the results of that experiment. I really, really love the sound and I absolutely hate the workflow. It's something that makes it very, very difficult when I'm using normal pedals, and I often am, to integrate the two. It really wants to kind of force its own lane of all-in-one, especially just along the line of power and the inconvenience of trying to get a pedal like that powered. Of course, there are devices that require big draw, and valves are one of those things. A lot of these all-in-one modelers are similar, but with the power behind the HP Plus, we're able to basically combine both of those in a very, very concise form factor. This is more powerful than the majority of the power supplies I own, including the number of taps I have available, on top of being able to draw for incredibly high power pedals. It also has a USB-C out, so if your phone dies at a gig, that's available, and it also has a 24 volt through, so if you have other Canvas Power products, you can create mega board without having to really think too hard. And that's a little bit of how I actually have the studio wired at the moment, with multiple devices like this wired through. So pretty incredible that they've managed to fit it into such a tight space. This will fit under any pedal board you could imagine, and it does the job incredibly well, and solves, frankly, almost all of the gripes that I've had about trying to integrate modeling into the workflow this far. So this is not going to be an incredibly audio heavy video. We're going to talk about the board that I've built with this, because I think I was kind of inspired to rethink my Quad Cortex flow. We're going to be talking about this again in a video coming soon, because I really don't believe, personally, I don't believe that modelers are an island. I think there's things that are always required, and clean power is actually one of them. I've had a pretty tough time with the Quad Cortex Walrus and just the noise that it introduces, and I've been very, very happy with this as something that just runs quiet, or even when I'm tying in other devices. I think it's a really, really incredible addition to the market, and something that I think is going to spark some inspiration around hybrid boards and things that are not one or the other anymore. This is something that allows for boards to integrate a little bit more widely, and that's an exciting thing. So let's jump to the board. We're going to take a look at how I've wired this up, and a little bit of how I'm thinking through what the possibilities this unlocks for me. But to say that this is the most excited I've been for a power supply would be the understatement of a century, because this was something that I had been dreaming of in my head long before I knew that it was coming. So thanks, Walrus, and let's jump to it. So how does it all sound wired up? Well, on top of being really, really quiet, I can crank gain on the gain sections and not worry about my noise running away from me. cranked. Gain pedals still stay quiet. It feels like the note is still kind of the forefront and the main thing you're hearing. It really is something that is a surprising difference. It's not something I don't think that power always equates to tone in my mind, and it's not even something I always pay that close attention to. But even just being it is such a noticeable difference and something I am totally fascinated by. But yeah, just listen to how quiet that is. There's nothing there, and then so I'm excited to build on this foundation and use kind of the Quad Cortex in a new and quieter way, but also a more holistic way. I think with the ability to pair like real gain pedals with fake amps, and kind of all of this fun ambient stuff is going to be a huge upgrade for the studio. I am so excited for this. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. Go check out the HP Plus, and we'll catch you on the next one.